Now, we know that when the world bounces back, that will open back up. As you're talking, there's going to be this hybrid world. Virtual will stick around, but at the same time, we're social beings. People will get back to live events when we can. That said, the virtual world has really opened up and exploded, and it is going to be here to stay. And so there's a few stats I wanted to bounce off you and just get your take on them. So for one, for smaller events, 100 people or less, it takes, marketers are saying you need a minimum of 3 to 6 weeks to successfully promote that, is what they're finding. So if you're moving a virtual and the event is less than 100 people, 3 to 6 weeks is the kind of run-up period. Are you finding the same? And from anything you're saying, what's your thoughts on that?
I've had this discussion with lots of conference organisers before, where you and I go to them to organise a conference, and that can take 6 to 12 months to get some sort of event like that going, because if you don't have a tribe already, you're just basically putting on your Woodstock, but you've got no one to invite. So they're not sort of a formed tribe. Whereas people who have built membership groups and things, you can put on, if you're telling them there's an event, but you might be able to plan that within 2 to 4 weeks. So it really comes back to, are they all employed staff? You know, if you want to, they're all employed and you want to put it on live, well, you just put on the event and they'll all come. And I've seen them come together in 2 weeks. So the answer is, are you looking at who are we targeting to come?
Yes.
And are they just random people that you're going to get in off Facebook ads? Well, yeah, okay, you're going to need longer. So it's not an easy question, and that's why it depends on who it is and where it is.
I get it. So, and that's nice to add that context, which is this internal where you've got an engaged tribe, connection, organization, team, whatever already, or are you looking to do this and build it from scratch? And I'd agree, if you're building it from scratch, it's going to take more. Actually, let me just jump to some of these other facts, because that ties into that. They would say 81% using social media to drive registrations. 51% are using their business B2B collaborators and partners to help drive registrations as well. And 65% then also within that looking to get sponsorship and corporate sponsorships, which kind of leads to your point of you're going to need longer if you want to pull all these elements together and it's not an engaged tribe. I think that's fair. Yeah,
the biggest issue that I'm seeing at the moment, you're correct. The sponsorship ones, the percentages numbers are there are kind of very vague at the moment, because what's happened because of the industries, depending on which industry you're in, there are some industries that are completely decimated at the moment. Hospitality, travel, much of retail, not doing well at all. And hence, there's no one that really wants to sponsor to talk to them possibly at the moment. So they're really struggling. And associations, of the thousands of associations in Australia, are right now struggling sometimes with membership, sponsorship, and using the base of their model was on live events. So they are really, really struggling at the moment to get anything much happening. So they're sort of fearful of doing virtual events because they don't know how that will work. But their traditional model was relying on live events, membership and sponsorship. The members are also saying, I've got all this information for free. Why should I pay you a membership fee? The sponsors are saying, I can talk to these people virtually. We can run our own virtual events. What value are you adding? And it comes back beautifully to your wonderful book. I hear it's fantastic. I've read some of it. It is about the value that you add. There are some models now that are being disintermediated because they're not adding enough value. The middleman is being cut out because we can go directly from expert to client directly. And so many people who are not adding enough value in the value chain are getting cut out at the moment.
Yeah, so, I think that's a valid point. Like looking in all the different mechanisms you can now add value. And to your point there, your production value, I think, as part of that key is not just about the talking head, but the real production value you're bringing to that experience. That's definitely part of it. I mean, I know for mine, I'm doing my keynotes, and this was already happening for live events, but it translates well for virtual. I've got literally a cinematic live doco playing behind. It's like 1,200 hours in just editing. That's 168 standard business days just in editing the visuals that are the backdrop to the keynote. That's the production value. That's not something you get through. You know what I mean? It's those sorts of things. How can you add production value, I think, is the key there if you're organizing.
And look, I think we're going to start seeing that some of these, it's an interesting space. The expertise and training, will it start to be as much as you would have when you're starting to put in, computer generated graphics and it's starting to be beautiful and you've got this going, and we've gone way beyond PowerPoints because it's gone global. And then it's how good is it? I've seen yours and I've seen Darren Hill's doing some stuff as well where he tells his poem in front of a beautifully cinematic scene that's going on behind them. And boy, these are new cutting edge levels for experts who just used to be, I'm the expert. Now it's becoming movies is what
yeah, absolutely. It was really nice because I'd already been doing some elements of that, but I delivered one for the book, actually, Add Value, the Add Value 101 one. And the best comment was somebody said, holy shit, this is like a live Netflix documentary, which is the best description, right? Because it's like you're presenting live, but there's this doco sort of playing behind you, which is kind of nice. You've just got to look how you can ramp it up.